I Got the Hell Out does contain explicit content that might not be suitable for some listeners, such as children, those that easily get offended, and we do recommend that listeners at work put your earbuds in if you have coworkers around.
And if you like the show, please spread the word by telling as many people as you can. Would also appreciate if you would subscribe, rate, hopefully with 5 stars, and review the podcast on iTunes. You can find us there as well as on Stitcher and Overcast. You can follow us on Twitter at Was In A Cult, on Facebook at I Got The Hell Out, and on Instagram at I Got The Hell Out with an underscore after each word. You can contact us through our website at IGotTheHellOut.com.
Hi guys.
Hey, it's Laura.
And Deb, and it's another amazing episode of I Got the Hell Out. And this is episode number 95.
I know, we're almost at 100.
I know. I don't know.
What are we doing big and fancy for 100?
I don't know. Send us your ideas, guys.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I don't know.
What should we do for 100?
I don't know.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to people that are listening. What should we do? Post
Send us
something
your
on
ideas.
Facebook. What should we do?
I don't know. I got an interesting Kool-Aid recipe.
Okay.
I told you we had quite a few built up. So,
Okay. What's this one?
This one comes from Ashley E., and it's called the Uncosmopolitan.
Ooh.
I just call it sippy cup shit.
Okay.
She says, I was searching online and found this one, and I'm still laughing at the idea of a party full of adults with sippy cups.
Can I just tell you what? They have those at the Benedum. Like if you go to like say like the Nutcracker or an opera or any kind of show, they actually have sippy cups for adults. So after intermission, you can take your drink in with you.
Okay, this just calls for a lot of vodka, cherry Kool-Aid, and orange soda. You add the vodka and Kool-Aid into a child's sippy cup with ice, close the lid, shake, add a splash of orange soda, and enjoy. Have you ever put soda in a sippy cup? It is not a good idea. It foams.
It foams, yeah. No, I never have.
Well, it makes you drink faster.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
There we go.
Kind of like when you crack a beer and it foams and you go...
Right.
And sucking up all the foam. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, well, Ashley, I can't imagine, people walking around drinking out of sippy cups either. I figured Uncosmopolitan wouldn't have any alcohol in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's a cosmopolitan? It's been a long time since I bartended. I don't know.
I think it's like gin or vodka or...
Keep sending us your Kool-Aid recipes. I'd like to say hi to Elena M. Okay, she writes to us and says, hi all, new listener of this podcast, and I'm so enjoying it. I left a cult. It was also Sabbatarian. And as a 5th generation member when I was 21.
Damn.
All on my own. My family was also extremely abusive, but I got the hell out. It's always good to know you aren't alone, and so I'm enjoying this podcast. Elena, I never knew how many people were involved in abusive cults and things like that. We have a lot of people on here that got out. I can't believe, the great grandson of one of the Mormon founders left. Yeah, so I'm going to approve that. Anybody who wants to say hi to Elena and let her know she's not alone out there. Okay, Mo H has always given us good stuff on how to deal. And hers today is coping with grief during the holidays. Okay?
Okay.
So we're just going to approve that if anybody wants to go and look it up. And as always, Chris S. gives us some really good words of advice. Don't suffer in silence because no one wants to hear about your depression. I'd rather hear about your depression, anxiety, stress, and etc. than hear about your death. I love you. Let's fight this shit. So, and everybody in America knows how bad our healthcare system is. Choke, choke, cough, cough.
We were just talking about it. It absolutely sucks.
Yeah. And Jamie is a surviving child ex-member. And this happened to me once, okay? I went to bingo, and they give you those tear-off sheets with the bingo daubers.
Oh, for like the special bingos or whatever,
Well, no, like my fire hall, that's what you get.
Oh, okay.
You just get a set of papers that you just keep ripping off for every game.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And I'm going to post this because do you see the 613s in the corners?
Ew, yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I got the 613s touching like that. And it was just like, seriously? And I didn't win. I'd have felt much
You would
better.
have thought that with that you would have won. Yeah.
I don't win. I never win.
Oh, I never
crap.
do. On any kind of like raffle or bingo, I never win.
And one of our Australian listeners, remember last week I asked, I told you that, Australia was on fire.
Right.
Answer C says, greetings from smoke-filled literal hell that is
God.
Australia right now. You guys asked about how much of Australia is on fire. As of last night, 2.9 million hectares of South Wales and Queensland is on fire.
Wait, how many? What?
2.9 million hectares, and I'm not sure what a hectare is.
But
compared to an
2.9
acre.
million of them is a hell of a lot.
Yeah, that would be
That'd be
hell of a lot. I mean, I think hectares are bigger than acres. Somebody school me, please.
Yeah.
And I didn't look it up. It's one of those I meant to look it up and
Right.
just
Well,
nothing in my
but
noggin.
I think it's safe to assume it's a hell of a lot.
She says the biggest fire has been declared too big to control by the firefighters, so they're trying to make sure it doesn't get too much bigger. They said it'll take weeks to extinguish, and it's already bigger than Sydney. There are currently 85 separate fires, and 42 of those are completely uncontrolled.
Holy crap.
Not to mention the temperature has been hitting 45 degrees Celsius, which is 113 to you and me, Laura.
Oh my God.
Thank you for putting that conversion in there, sweetheart. There's a massive wind change about to hit, which is going to send the fire in a completely different direction. Also, the amount of smoke over Sydney at the moment is 11 times what is considered safe. So hospitals and vets are being bombarded with asthmatics and people with breathing issues. She goes on to say that the main problem that they're having is their prime minister is incompetent. I'm gonna post this for anybody who wants to read it because it's lengthy, and but yeah, the animal lovers out there probably haven't been told that over 1,000 koalas have been killed in the fires, and 80% of their habitat has been destroyed. Our koala sanctuaries are at maximum capacity, and some areas no longer have enough of the right kind of trees to support the koalas returning to their homes. The WWF, which is the Worldwide or something Federation.
World Wildlife.
Yeah, Federation. Has declared that without some serious help from the government, koalas could be extinct by 2050.
Oh my gosh.
So sorry for the long rant, but it's really bad here right now, and a lot of people aren't aware of how bad.
How is this not like in the news? Like one of the top stories.
The world is on fire, Laura, and
wow.
They keep us busy with the Super Bowl and sports games and
All
going to
kinds of,
work.
like, entertainment, Hollywood bullshit.
It's Christmas. We have to go shopping.
Wow.
Thank you for answering me. I mean, I am friends with a lot of people in different countries for reasons. And the way they're telling things that are happening in their country are way different than what's being reported here. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
It's another early morning, and I'm drinking the last of my coffee. Are you
Is
surprised?
that coffee or Gatorade?
It's coffee.
Okay.
In a non-spill bottle.
Gotcha. Thank you. My carpet thanks you.
Well, even if I drank bottles that had twist-ons,
right,
offs, they don't twist back on. So even if I knocked the bottle over, it would still leak. So
that'd still be better than an open beer.
It could have been.
You're
milk.
never gonna live that down.
It could have been.
You're
milk.
never gonna live that down.
It could have been.
That's
milk.
true. That's true. That would have been nasty.
I do my best. I really do my best. And I always find it amazing. Becky ML, she forgot to make a comment on this as she was laughing really, really hard because all she could think about was garlic tampons. Okay, it's things not to put up your twat Tuesday.
You know what's really sad is that we need that. That's what's really sad.
I'm not going to post this, but it's like a health blog telling you, what to do with garlic.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. It's like, it's sad that we actually need someone to tell women what not to stick up there.
I couldn't believe that some of my friends did this. And
with the garlic.
Yes. And the one woman lasted not all that long. And let me tell you, she was pretty devout on shit. And I for 1 minute wouldn't have done it. Been like, okay, honey, I'm unclean. I'm going in the bathroom now. The unclean
Right.
bathroom.
Right.
There might have been a string sticking up, but there wouldn't have been no garlic attached to it.
Exactly.
And if he would have been listening for the flush, I probably would have swallowed it whole. It's garlic. Come on.
I know, but ugh.
Garlic's good for you. I was, like I said, I'm saying hi to Becky ML. She's been listening to us for a few months now, and she's up into the high 50s. And she says that she was taught some pretty crazy science in the church that she grew up in. And apparently, it was just the uneducated person in charge. Sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he went to the same school little man did.
Oh, no.
Or maybe the pastor of my church was reading from the pamphlets. I remember being told sperm fight with other sperm, and that's why promiscuous women get cervical cancer. I told you that, Laura.
What? They fight. They have little boxing gloves on.
I don't know, but the sperm never leave your body. They're like a parasite.
True. You did say that.
And like you have sex with one person, it could be years later, and these other little sperms are coming out of your womby woodwork, okay? And they're fighting the other man's sperms.
Where do they get this? Honest to God.
Okay. That's why women get cervical cancer. That's also what causes urinary tract infections. So if an unmarried girl got one, it must have been because she was sinning and having sex. Germs, or bugs, breed with other germs and make super germs, and monkey sex is what caused the AIDS epidemic. Yes. I never mentioned that.
I did hear about the monkey thing. I have heard about that.
Well, that was preached.
Wow.
Horny men who did not follow God's law, went and had sex with monkeys, and it was a monkey disease. And
the sperm are fighting.
Okay. She finishes with, while the church I grew up in started as an independent fundamental Baptist, in the early 90s, the ones in charge decided that the Baptist denomination was too liberal. So started teaching stricter dress codes.
How do you even... Oh, man.
And that women and children were to be seen and not heard. We had to be under the headship of our fathers or husbands, and ultimately under the headship of the pastor, who only answered to God. So many similarities in terminology. I call the church I grew up in a cult and refer to myself as a recovering fundamental. They aren't as horrible as they once were since the leader died, but they're still pretty nuts. I still have family and friends there still.
Wow.
It amazes me how many weird cults are out there.
And that definitely is a cult. That is... Wow.
Especially since there were so many similarities, the terminology. Like when we were on the grounds, it was always your feast dwelling. It wasn't my camper. It wasn't my trailer. I mean, sometimes, but for the most part, I'll see it at your feast dwelling, or because they tried to go by the Bible terminology,
right?
As much as they could. Jerby's, he wants to give a shout out to any fellow Jack Mormons. And in parentheses, he spikes the green jello / shredded carrot salad with vodka. Yes, that's a thing. Tragic, but true.
What?
I'm assuming that in the Mormons, you're not supposed to drink. So he's giving a shout out to his fellow Jack Mormons, who is spiking the green jello salad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, here in America, people bake special cookies and brownies and take them to
You can also do
events.
jello shots.
Jello shots would be a little obvious to, great Aunt Sarah. But she eats...
So just make it into the jello mold.
Yeah,
there you go.
And apparently you put shredded carrots in it. Ew. Jer, I hope somebody responds to that, because I don't know what to tell you.
With a little pukey emoji.
I told you I got that book at a yard sale for like
what
$1. I showed you it was like Jello recipes
from
the 50s or something.
Man, they made Jello with everything.
Most of it was gross. Anyway, moving on. I spoke with an ex-member.
And?
Want to hear just an interesting tidbit?
Of course.
Remember I told you I remember doing third tithe 2 years in a row twice?
Oh, because they miscalculated,
They
right?
miscalculated,
That's right.
right. Back in 2015, they did it again.
They miscalculated?
Again.
Wow.
So, guys, we got to, but, okay. They were a little lenient back in 2015.
How nice of them.
If you could kind of prove how much you tithed and whatnot, you got credit.
Okay.
So, maybe people were getting fed up with paying that third tithe again.
Hell yeah.
Wouldn't you?
Hell yeah.
That's just a whole nother year of misery, don't you
It's like, it's not my fault you miscalculated. And that's miscalculated is in quotes.
Okay. Let's see. What do I got?
Pending
what do I got?
posts.
I already did.
Screenshots.
I already did pending posts. Hold on.
Screenshots.
Quit rushing me. Okay. Oh, the new calendars are ready.
Oh.
You can go online and order one.
Did you do that?
No, but. I found something very, very interesting, okay? Now, they have a really pretty pastel pink and purple rainbows on the front picture, okay?
Right.
This is what you can download for free.
Okay.
And it says, "Be like Jesus. He is like God. The family is striving every day to take on the perfect character of God."
Okay.
That's your calendar front.
Okay.
Okay, now the thing that I find really interesting is, remember, we were not understanding, that it was the Able 3, what their calendar was, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, their calendar is explained here.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Okay.
I can't find it on their official Facebook page, but you just go into Google and just type in, House of God calendar, and it comes up. Look for the one that makes you want to puke, with the purples and the pinks colors and the rainbow in it. And what's funny is they proclaim the 4-color rainbow, but they put the
The real
rainbow in. It was on the money. Okay, let's see. Apparently there's 13 months in the year, which I can agree with that.
Really? Okay.
Because, I personally would go from full moon to full moon, new moon to new moon, whatever.
Sure.
And it's 28 days.
Okay.
And a woman's cycle is 28 days. And we got all these crazy, you have to remember, 30 days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31. Of course, except for February in a leap year, which has 29.
Right.
Which is stupid to me.
Right.
Just have 13 months. Thank you, Roman dudes. Okay. Now would you like to hear their months?
Sure.
Now, you're gonna like the ending.
Now, is this in like their biblical language, or is this like our
Yes.
January? Oh, geez.
It's
Okay.
and they're gonna use either Hebrew or Greek names. Okay.
All right. And this is 13 of them.
13 of them.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. The year starts out in the spring sometime. I'm not trying to figure out.
Oh, so
which.
we're not even starting out in like our January.
No,
starting- okay.
no. But we start with, and these are all moons. So I'm not just going to keep
Sure.
going the moon of.
Gotcha.
Okay, we've got the moon of Abel, Noah, Melchizedek, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moshe, Samuel, Isaiah, Jesus, donkeys,
What?
God.
So there's a month called donkeys. Nice.
The moon of donkeys.
Oh, Lord.
Remember I kept showing you their memes that had all these jackasses on it?
You said the right word.
And we just kept marveling, how they're basically throwing it in their face. You're a bunch of jackasses to believe this shit.
Gosh.
But anybody out there who does the moon thing, is it really the moon of donkeys? Where do
I prefer
donkeys
Moon
come
of
in?
Jackass.
But where does donkeys come in?
I don't know, but I prefer the Moon of Jackass. That's what we're going with.
Okay.
So are there any more animals, or what's after donkey?
God.
And that's the last
The
one?
moon of God.
And that's the last
That's
one?
the last one in the year. But why is donkeys thrown in there?
Maybe they were like going around the room asking people to pick, and like they came on a kid.
They came up
and
on...
the kid was just like, donkey.
They came up on all these biblical
people.
names.
Right.
And biblical people. And then they go, Jesus, donkey's God. I mean...
All right.
Donkeys have a higher place in the calendar than Jesus does?
Or God.
No, God's the last one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
I mean,
okay.
you could look at it because the first one leads up to the biggest and best one.
Right, you would think it's like what is it, ascending order, right?
Yeah, and Cain was the first
Son.
No, Cain was the first pope, remember?
That's right.
You read that in the blog.
That's right, with Jupiter.
Right. Apparently the first moon is Abel. So we're back to,
Gotcha. Cain and Abel.
Cain and Abel somehow. And they run through all of these people and, Moon of Donkeys.
Okay.
All right. Everybody, especially Sarah L., thank you again for looking out for Old Man Billy. He means no harm. You can just ignore him if you don't want to get into a religious debate. He's harmless.
Let him roll.
That's why I let him roll. He spent 20 years there. And, I mean, when you're in your, I guess, 80s now? Almost 80.
Yeah, let him go.
I mean, he believes the earth is flat. Yeah. And then he tells me
Say no more.
They have members all around the globe. And it's like, dude, did you just hear yourself?
They have flat Earth members all around the round globe. Sure.
Not the round globe, just
I'm just saying
all around the globe. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure if the Earth was flat, cats would have knocked everything off by now anyway. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you want to go to their blog?
It's snowing here. I hate it. And for whatever reason, Frosty the Snowman last night played at 9 o'clock at night.
Did you watch it?
No. If I was a little kid, I would have been able to stay up till 9 o'clock.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. That's late.
Well, I mean, it was 9 o'clock on what, a Saturday? I don't know. Probably pushed back. I just had to bitch about that. Sorry.
You want to go into the blog?
Okay. You read something from their blog last week about all these things are in
Jupiter.
Right. Okay. And we just can't really couldn't figure out what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, Laura sent me the page and there's so much tiny shit on it that I would have to scrape out.
Mm-hmm.
And I have
you mean to post it?
Yeah, I have to do it on my phone.
Yeah.
And I tried desperately, but I was marking everything except, and you can't use a pen. You have to use your stupid finger.
You'd be there for a day.
No, there wasn't a whole hell of a lot, but it won't even let you enlarge the picture to work on it to edit it. You have to do it in the small crap, and yeah. Sorry, guys. You'll have to find the blog. It will amuse you.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Okay, moving on.
Okay, so this is the one dated November 16th. So we went back just a little bit, not too much.
Okay.
Okay.
And this is a blog written, obviously, somebody who listens to the sermons or is...
No, this is the cult's blog.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody who's there, this is probably their job to do this.
Right. And then
everybody has jobs.
Right. And they add on little news tidbits and lottery numbers.
And they cannot do something like this without the leader's permission.
Okay.
Or higher-ups above them.
I wonder who pulls out the lottery numbers.
I told you they're in the books next to the words.
Okay. Because it says numbers today. It lists a bunch of numbers.
Okay, well, I have lots to say about this when you're done reading.
Okay, so then we have the men's portion. Remember how they divided it, the men's portion, the women's portion, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the men's portion says the Bible code. Now, last week's Bible code was Jupiter.
Okay.
You ready for this week?
And these were things that were in Jupiter.
Yes, so we're on a different Bible code this week.
Okay.
The Garden of Genes. Not the genes you wear.
I was going to say, is that
DNA.
GENES?
Yes, it is your DNA. And we know how they are well versed on genetics.
Well, we couldn't buy stuff at a resale shop because a child molester might have owned that jacket before. And you can't wash the DNA out of clothing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible. And then we couldn't give hand-me-down clothes to kids because my older son might grow up to be an axe murderer, and I've just condemned the younger one because I gave him children's clothing with his brother's DNA on it.
Because we know how that seeps in through the skin.
Yeah, just like sperms pop out from years later and fight the other spermies.
Little boxing gloves.
Yes.
Okay. So it's the Garden of Genes. And there's a bunch of people that it says it reveals the following things. Some of these words I think they made up because I've never even heard of them, but Abraham's involved.
Would you like me to read the words?
Sure.
Okay, let me see.
See where it says reveals? You can go for it.
Well, wait a minute.
No, down here. Reveals.
Okay, Bible code topic. Garden of Genes reveals.
Mm-hmm.
Garden of Genes.
A little redundant, but sure.
A little redundant. Abraham, Halil.
What's Halil?
Who's
Who's Halil?
Satan.
Oh.
Okay.
So Abraham and Satan are in the Garden of Genes.
Anathema.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have no idea what that
See?
is.
Exactly.
Anathematize.
See?
Annealing.
See?
Recombining DNA. Okay. So apparently we're recombining DNA.
I think they meant recombinant DNA, but go ahead.
Well, it says recombining.
Well, yeah, when you get a 5th grade education saying it, sure.
Antediluvian?
See, you thought I was making this up, that I don't know what the hell these words are.
Apotheosis. Apotheosis. Apothesis.
Sure.
Okay. The perfect example. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible code is the perfect example.
Okay.
Making a god of someone. Gee, that sounds familiar.
Oh, yeah.
Arterial.
Okay, sure. Arterial, yeah.
Bitterness.
Veins. Oh, okay.
Civilization. Mankind.
Mm-hmm.
Law of God. Fish breeding. Germinal. Germinal. That sounds made up.
Uh-huh.
Organic.
Oh, okay.
Priests. Fragrant.
Fragrant priests.
Well, there's a comma between the two. I mean, they're actually using commas for once. Obedience.
Mm-hmm.
Pronomatory. Clyde.
Is Clyde the last one in the garden?
Clyde's the last one. There's a lot of people that are going to get that reference. We're not going to give that reference.
Oh, so that means something to you?
Oh, it means a lot to a lot of people who know what's going on in the game.
Okay.
Hi, Clyde.
So that's all going on in the Garden of Genes.
Clyde is in the Garden of Genes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, Clyde, you're in the Garden of Genes.
Apparently that's really funny.
I'll explain it to you
Okay.
when we get done, because there's going to be people just laughing
right
their ass off right
Okay.
now. Hi, Clyde. Did you ever know you'd be involved in culty propaganda?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So now we can go on to their little in the news part.
Okay.
Okay. Planned Parenthood is in the news.
Well, of course.
Doesn't say how or why, just says they're in the news.
Right.
The side effects of vaping. It's harmful to the lungs.
Because they know this stuff.
Superbugs.
Well, we've talked about them.
There's no pharmaceutical solutions.
No.
And they're planning to vaccinate the people of Congo.
Okay.
Okay. Turkey, NATO, information on China, Egypt, Iran, Russia, and USA.
So these are just headlines.
Those are just headlines because...
So do you have to click on those to actually read what they're about?
Can't. No, you can't click on them. They're just making statements. Those are the headlines. I don't know what you're supposed to do.
Where do you find
with
the article?
Headlines. Who the hell knows? I guess they figure headlines are enough, right?
I mean, is this normal for a blog?
No, you would click on it.
But I mean, does this read like a blog would read?
Blog.
But see, I've never read a blog.
No, a blog is like you would just...
Is it like a diary?
Normally what you do on a blog is you pick a topic. Say some people post every day or once a week or whatever. You kind of pick a topic and you talk about it.
Okay.
Now, if you're referencing an article, you would have the link. You could click on it.
So you can verify your link.
Right. Or you might be
This is where I got my information.
Right. Or you could be like, the person reading it could be like, hey, that's really interesting. I want to read more about whatever. And you click on the link and you read the other article.
Okay.
So this, I don't know what this is.
I wish I could post this. There's just too much I have to cross out.
Want to go to the highlights for today?
Sure.
Let's see here. News from Pope Francis. Shift church from Eurocentric to universal.
Whatever that means.
Exactly. Now, this was before last week's one. So this is kind of, I guess, like they're going to say like what we're going to talk about in the future. Because it says details on Jupiter. The gods of Jupiter lead the churches.
Well, there was no mention of gods up there unless you just want to talk about, what was his name, Apollo?
Mm-hmm.
That was the only god that I heard mentioned.
Well,
so they're claiming gods, and is it a capital G?
It is. Gods of Jupiter. Well, it should be a lowercase g, but we know how they are.
And Satan's up there too.
Yes.
And Cleopatra.
Yes.
And somehow I'm there because it's 1994. That just makes me have anxiety.
So there's more details about Jupiter. God warned of their great deception. God describes the size of Jupiter and the presence of the gods within.
Okay, I know that he has preached, that the apostles of old described nuclear bombs going off and weapons, things flying across the sky, and yeah. Apparently they were all either hallucinating back then, or they were maybe eating some hallucinogenics,
tripping,
dreaming. I don't know.
Only God can foretell the future. The gods cannot do this. They, quote, divine the future, but it's not effective. So I guess, don't go looking in your crystal ball and telling the future, right?
Right. Because only God can do that.
Okay. In the generation of nuclear bombs / the Catholic Church / Vatican, the divining serpent, the beings on Jupiter are leaving. They are creating chaos in the universe, as seen in the photo, which there's no link to a photo.
There never is. I told you it was really creepy to go on their real estate site, and there's supposed to be a link where you can see their offerings.
They're missing the whole point of...
It's like they built a website but didn't plug in all the plugins.
Oh, my God. Oh, this goes back to what you were just saying. Cain was the first pope.
Well, yeah.
We got some good stuff here. God gives details on current news articles. You ready?
I'm sitting here with bated breath.
NASA cannot explain the changing oxygen levels on Mars.
Okay.
China's fake meat to take compressed protein from the air.
These have to be.
This
has to be satire.
There is protein in the air.
Okay.
And that was the last one. They left on a high note.
I don't even know what to make of half of what you just read to me.
All I'm taking from it is there's protein in the air.
Protein in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So don't you forget that. If you need protein,
go outside.
You don't need to eat something that has protein in it. Just sniff the air.
You can become a vegetarian or a vegan and you get your protein
by sniffing the air.
Sniffing the air.
Got it.
So you go outside, stare at the sun because that strengthens your eyes.
And you get vitamin D from it.
And you get vitamin D from it.
Sniff the air and you get protein.
Sniff the air and get protein. There was a few other ones out there, wasn't there?
Oh, I'm sure there was. I just don't remember them. So there you go.
Now, would you like to hear why the bullshit?
I would love to.
Because this is funny, because we write our shit separate. Well, you don't write anything. You just look it up and find it funny and circle certain things and want to read certain shit. And I didn't really get to talk to a whole lot of people this week, but I did talk to one person who left within the past 2-3 years. Okay. You asked, why the gematria bullshit?
Oh, yeah.
And remember, they changed it to make it culty by using the first 3 letters of their culty shit and gematria.
Right.
You have to remember, he started researching this back in the late 80s. Okay?
Okay.
And by the early 90s, he had it grown into what we jumped into.
Okay.
We were there and we were joining pretty much in the heyday of when the numbers were growing so fast that it was amazing that this many people came to a feast, came for this to be taught.
And like coming from different countries and
Like I told you, I've met people from different countries. Interesting. But I couldn't help but ask this as ex-member because it's been, what, 30 years? Plus years? 30 years ago was 89, as crazy as that sounds to me and you.
Crazy. Dang.
And I was 18 30 years ago.
I was already out of high school.
Moving on.
Yeah, keep moving on, please.
Now, you can only predict the end of the world so many times before people start going, well, wait a minute. I love the memes that people post. This is the 5th time I've survived the end of the world. Right. Because I can't tell you how many times we survived shit out there. And you were always on guard, I mean, they attacked Ruby Ridge. They attacked Waco. Anyway, after you've been preaching so many years, how many more times can you predict the end?
Right.
How many more crazy, supplements can you come up with and cleanses and
that people need to take?
Right.
Okay.
People will start losing interest because it's a cult. People are there for a reason.
Well, it's like their bullshit meter's rising.
Well, that's like you telling me, hey, Deb, we're going to go to Erie tonight. I know a great crab restaurant. I'm going to drive us there. We'll watch, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And I show up here, and I get in your vehicle, and like 15 minutes later, I realize you have it in park. You may be hitting the gas, but you're still in park.
All right.
And we haven't moved an inch. And I'm going to go, Laura, we're no closer to the restaurant, and it's been 15 minutes. And you're going, I forgot to put it in drive. Sorry. And you put it in drive, and we stop at the stop sign, and you throw it in park. And 10 minutes later, I realized you're hitting the gas, but we ain't going nowhere.
Okay.
So after a while, I realized I'm really not getting to Erie real quick.
We aren't going to Erie.
And I turn to you and go, well, wait a minute. We're never going to get to Erie because we're still in, your neighborhood.
At the stop sign.
And you go, you know what? I'm not really feeling kind of well. That's probably I'm having troubles driving. Okay. How about if we just go to Burger King down the road? I'm hungry. Okay, that's fine. Laura's not feeling well. Okay. You got to keep giving them something new.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's what they've been doing?
And after so many years, you run out of things to throw at people.
And the other people run out of patience.
Yes. I ran out of patience after, it was like 7.5 years. I'm like, Ken, it's been double the freaking time. 3.5 years plus 3.5 years. And here it is, 7.5. Mm-hmm. So where's the end of the world at? Yeah. The gematria crap is something that, like everything else, some crazy-ass person comes up with. It's a theory. They find it on the internet. They knew about it before they got there. They tried to get urine therapy for a while going out there.
As in urine?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you were supposed to drink...
Please don't tell me drink it.
You were supposed to drink 8 ounces of water before you went to bed. Okay.
Please tell me they're not drinking their
And
pee.
then everybody had... Not me. Okay. Well, this has a happy ending.
There is no happy ending for drinking pee.
Anyway, you were supposed to have cups that, like, you put your first 2 ounces of urine in the morning in. And they had little special cups you could get to show you the 2-inch mark on it, right? Or you could dump it out. But the first 2 ounces were the best. Okay?
Why?
Look at your face. I don't know. I personally was not going to drink piss. Okay? I might pretend to do it. It ain't happening. But these crazies that were into all of this health stuff, where a lot of what people were doing was coming from. If you're into, an alternative lifestyle before you get there, you know all these things.
But your body's excreting it because it doesn't need it.
Okay, now wait a minute. The first 2 ounces that you excrete in the morning are the healthiest, and you're supposed to drink them almost immediately while it's still hot.
Oh my God. So it's bad enough that you're drinking pee, but you're drinking hot pee.
Yes.
Okay.
Even before your coffee, it has to be the first thing you do in the morning. Look at your eyes.
I'm going to vomit. Go ahead.
But that's where a lot of this stuff comes from, is well-meaning members who just know some crazy ass shit. I mean, look it up, Laura. I don't know. There's probably something on the internet that says it's a damn benefit.
Could you imagine drinking pee?
There was a lot of people who did it. And I never had anything really to say when I was around people who were talking about urine therapy. So,
And what was it supposed to do? Like, what was the
it was
therapy?
supposed to strengthen your immune system and other assorted things. I don't know. I was not into it. I was not peeing in a cup in the morning and drinking it before my coffee. I would have thrown up. I mean, and to listen to people talk about after a week or two of doing this, oh yeah, I've been doing it for 2 weeks now. At first it was really bad, but I enjoy the saltiness of it in the morning, right before my coffee. Because urine's salty.
I wouldn't know because I've never tasted it.
I've never tasted it either, but I've read things. I've heard things. You know what? You could do your own little experiment later.
No, I can't.
Yes,
I take your word that it's salty. I take your word.
I did not do urine therapy, but there was quite a few people who did. And I mean, it was big talk behind the scenes for a while because urine makes you unclean, right?
Right, so you're drinking it and you're making yourself unclean.
Well, that's what they were trying to argue. The point of was, it's your urine. How could your urine make you unclean if it's in you and you're just putting it back in you? I was not in on these debates.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, it came across the pulpit, stop drinking your damn piss. There was a...
Did they say why?
Because it makes you unclean, and it doesn't say in the Bible anywhere to
drink your own
to do
pee.
it. Right. And then for a while, the joke became, the turd brigade, where,
Stop.
it's probably good to bite a big chunk off of your first poop in the morning.
I was really hoping you weren't going there.
Well, nobody ever did that, but I mean, that's the kind of dark humor we had because we couldn't have any other kind of humor. I mean, there was a good chunk of people drinking pee in the morning, and as adults had to be told, don't do this. Okay?
I wonder if Little Man drank his own pee.
Are you
I
kidding
highly
me?
doubt it.
Are you kidding me? Little Man did whatever he wanted or didn't want to do. Bastard.
Can you imagine them sitting around, hey, you know what would be funny?
Oh, I was told he frequently did that. That, there's some higher ups that have left, and we've had some private conversations that, men and women, they had reason to be back in Little Man's office or going back there, and he either forgets, doesn't care, whatever, and he'll just make offhanded remarks and comments. And it's just like, really? Wow. And he does what he wants or doesn't do what he's not supposed to do.
Right.
My one friend, her sister used to clean for Little Man. Because, he had to have cleaning ladies in every one of his houses every day. Because they get so dusty and dirty.
Well, the road's dusty, remember?
Well, not where his houses were. They were located way back.
Oh, okay.
And he had one on the lake. He had the lake house. That wasn't dusty. That was way up by the lake shoreline and, a good driveway, paved driveway to get to it. Yeah. But, when you own several mansion-type houses, you need a full cleaning staff every day.
What the hell are you doing every day that you need someone to clean?
That's what I'm saying.
Good God.
But she would clean out the refrigerator and the freezer constantly.
All kinds of food he wasn't supposed to eat, I bet.
Hell yeah. She couldn't figure...
Shrimp platter.
String cheese, shrimp, you name it. She's like...
Bacon.
And, she got out and she was telling her sister, that constantly, it was weekly, as soon as she would see him. Because Apparently, he had somebody shopping for him or who knows. But I personally saw him in the grocery store filling his little basket with shit he's not supposed to have. But the sister was always telling him, oh, Pastor, you can't have this. Who is shopping for you? She couldn't figure out who was trying to poison the pastor. Okay. And it turns out, it was little man himself not giving a flying fuck.
Yeah.
Because who's going to believe her that this went on all the time?
Right.
Nobody.
Right. You're going to believe her over little man.
Yeah. Or
not going to happen.
The last days anointed witness. Anyway, the reason they're doing the gematria is because it's something completely new. And it's very confusing. Okay?
Okay.
If you know how to do something and somebody else doesn't, and you do it with ease in front of them,
you make them feel stupid.
Yes. And nobody wants to admit that they're stupid or they feel stupid.
Right, so you're not going to say, hey, could you explain this to me? Because
I'm just
don't
not
understand.
getting it.
Right.
Now, this ex-member I spoke to was, at first, was like, okay, well, this could be something. This could be something new. Who knows? And again, it was somebody who brought this into the cult, like the urine therapy. Okay. Hold on one second.
Okay.
It caught on because it intrigued people. Okay. But the pages that you have read with all of those numbers, okay, the numbers mean something.
Okay.
And a lot of times you're adding up the digits in the word to come up with what it's worth.
Okay.
Or a 4-digit word is worth a 4-digit number because each letter is assigned a number or something. I don't know. I don't care enough to actually look into it. Now, this member told me that it was all well and good, like it usually is, right? In the beginning.
Oh, what happened?
Well, they're going along with this gematria shit and proving that little man, and his tag number. We've talked about the tag number. Funny piece of little information that kind of got that. One of them tidbits that you don't really think about much, but after the second or third time somebody says it to you, apparently it's not a real well-known fact. But they sent little man the wrong tag number to begin with for his car.
Okay.
Okay. Did God send him the wrong signals at first? I mean, it's not going to change that I graduated on 6/13.
Right.
That's what it says on the invite.
It is what it is.
What it says on the calendar back then. I was there. But, if you're making shit up as you go along, you could pretty much keep making shit up.
Okay, so the DMV got it wrong.
I can neither prove nor disprove that, but I've heard that it was a personal behind-the-scenes joke. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
That he received the wrong tag number in the first place.
Okay.
And I don't know if he kept the wrong one or if he sent the wrong one back and just continued to use this number.
Gotcha.
Who knows? Somebody out there, please let me know. Oh, and I thought the number Devil 666. I thought his number, because I quoted it to this ex-member, and I'm like, 1077. How weird can... And they're like, no, 1076. And I'm like, okay. So now 1076 is blurred into my head, too. Wouldn't you pick an easier number for his little man?
Honest to God.
I don't know. But this ex-member started getting confused.
About the gematria stuff.
Because a lot of other people were getting confused because you don't want to feel stupid about something that's being taught. So you study to show yourself approved. Okay. Now, this particular ex-member actually attended school in their life and stuff and had real teachers and things and whatnot. Okay. Like me and you, right? They didn't take school away until a long time later.
Okay.
So this person actually knew how to do math.
Okay.
And they weren't the only person to have questions because apparently you need 3 digits to fit what you're doing, in this work.
Mm-hmm.
So you just drop the last number off. It's just a 0. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So instead of 3,520,
Just drop the 0 off.
yeah, just drop the 0 off. But yet they're teaching this stuff as mathematical.
Oh, jeez.
No wonder these people are feeling stupid because they're not even doing it correctly. But then again, why would I assume they're doing something correctly? Because they always make their stuff fit what's happening. The nuclear baby was back when tension was high with nukes and whatever. And
It fit.
It fit. And, they use everything, like I mentioned earlier, Ruby Ridge and Waco, to instill the fear that the government is coming for us next. Coming for us next. That's why we put the wrong way facing fence up and got these big ass gates. Yeah. Apparently the gates only open outward, so you can't ram them inward.
Oh.
I don't know.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, just things I've heard.
A little bit of info.
Little bit of info. So, yeah, that's why pretty much they've introduced this, because people either aren't grasping it or realizing it's total bullshit.
Okay.
But that's what they're teaching. Did you stomach through any of the videos on their official page?
No.
I couldn't do that this past time.
No.
It was just not a possibility. So, let's see. What else do we have? Hey.
Huh?
Checked in with them.
Was...
Oh, I'm probably not going to be able to find the screenshot, and we missed it last week.
Okay.
But it was in their, House of God memories on this day, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, okay. Like a little anniversary type thing.
Right. The first day's mobile sanctuary was christened and blessed as such, okay? Mm-hmm. And I thought it was funny as fuck because it showed an empty barren field. They couldn't even find a picture that had a mobile home in it. Okay?
Oh my God.
I don't know what to tell you on that one. Where are we going next?
Screenshots?
Yeah, that's where we're going. I messed up last night. I figured out I could make albums. So I don't have to scroll through all the crap.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Well, I made an album of everything I wanted to talk about today or mention and whatnot. So I went back into the main roll of pictures and just started deleting everything. Well, it deletes it from the album too. So
oops.
Lesson learned. Because after I deleted like the 20th one, because I don't always use them all.
Right.
I was like, ding, 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 ding,
they?
ding. I'm like, I wonder if I go into that folder if everything I deleted is gone. So apparently you have to keep, all of them until you use them.
Gotcha. So do you have anything in the album at all?
Oh, I got the crap in the album.
Okay.
Come on. Okie doke. We've got the 5th book of Little Man, verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 22, verse 24.
Okay.
The knowledge you're getting here, brethren, you're going to be teaching it to the universe one day. That's the reason God has you here training. It's not so you can come here to have fun. If you were going to do that, I'd send you to a Baptist church, a carnival, or the World's Fair. This word rejoice doesn't mean a ha-ha rejoice or a gaiety rejoice. It doesn't mean festival or festive. It is found in feasting.
So the Baptist church is a carnival.
He would send them to the Baptist
or
church,
a
carnival, or the World's Fair if they were there to have fun.
Oh, my Lord.
And people see nothing wrong with this.
Oh, my God. Wow.
Okay, this is a quote from Little Man back in 2011, and look at all of the different fonty things they used, making it, really hard to read.
Of course.
They don't even know what righteousness is. They think righteousness is fixing a turkey dinner on Thanksgiving for these poor, hungry people that they kick out the very next day. See, he would always preach that Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, oh, everybody's in such a giving mood and they help the homeless and the less fortunate. Here, come, be warm, eat a good dinner. And then the very next morning, they kick you out into the cold because they did their good deed and they're not responsible for you for the rest of the year.
Kind of agree a little bit with that.
But
A teeny tiny bit.
But soup kitchens don't do that. They operate every day of the year.
Well, but I'm
Shelters
talking about,
operate every day of the year.
I'm just talking about like some families. You know what I mean? Like on certain days, they're all like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? Like every day of the year, you should act the same way.
I know, but I don't know.
Just saying.
Oh, and they tell you to grab a pen or pencil, a notebook, and your Book of God or Bible and join us for live services.
Oy.
They're reaching out there to say Bible.
Oh.
And come to find out from some ex-members that, their 503c lists them as a church.
So
church is a whorehouse. I don't know how they get around that one.
Oh, I'm sure they have a reason. I'm sure they have an explanation.
This one made me giggle. Okay. It's Little Man, and it's his 5th book. Okay, so who knows how far back it goes because they don't have dates anymore. You're going to be a kingdom of priests who are going to guard the food supply and not let it get changed.
Okay.
Why are we guarding the food supply?
No idea. How are we guarding the food supply?
How and why are we guarding the food supply? I'm not understanding this one. Okay. Anyway.
Got any more?
Oh, I got a ton of them. Like I said, I don't always, I don't know. What? Oh, I got some saved links.
Okay.
Okay, I got to go back over here. I found out I could do this too. I can save links.
Unlike the cult, who doesn't know what a link is.
Pretty much. I'm always telling everybody, do your best, do good. You never know what an impact you're going to make on people, right? I was sad to see this. This was in the Miami Herald, and it's from the local obituaries. And this man spent years fighting for the right to feed the homeless. Arnold Abbott dies at 94. And he was South Florida's one of the staunchest and most visible advocates for the homeless. How do you arrest people for feeding people?
That's messed up.
We don't want to go there.
That's messed up.
But I did want to give a shout out to any relatives or anybody that's associated with him. If you're getting arrested for feeding the homeless, I will come and bail you out. Anybody out there, if your crime
is feeding the homeless,
is giving someone a freaking sandwich, I will come and bail you out. Most respect to you, Mr. Abbott. I'm going to post this one. There is a suicide prevention hotline for mental health emergencies. This is compliments of USA Today. I trust that source.
Is this where they're changing the number to a 3-digit number?
Yes, it's just simply 988.
I think that's what it's going to be. I'm not. Is it confirmed?
It's USA Today article.
Okay, so I don't know if it's in service yet, though.
I was about to say I'm not sure when it goes into service. I haven't read it, but I am going to try and post this. If I can't actually post the link, I'll do what I usually do and just take a stupid screenshot.
But that's great that it's going to become a 3-digit number, sort of like 911. So you don't
Something
have to
easy.
Remember that whole long 7-digit.
Why didn't they just make it 999 or 777 or 555?
I don't know. I'm just happy it's 3 digits. It's a step in the right direction.
It's a step in the right direction. Okay. Now, look, I got to go back to where I was because this was important also. An ex-member, love her to death, let's go to all photos. I wanted to read this. She sent this to me. Nope.
Oh, is it one you deleted maybe?
No. I just never, I write it down. Okay. She forwarded this to me, and this is from a Robin Harper Roseman. I did not vet this, but for her sending it to me, I am assuming that it is legit. Anybody
Okay.
out there who has a couple minutes and a stamp, you want to do something nice for somebody? Robin writes, I don't know if anyone wants to do this, and please don't feel obligated. I have a special needs sister who gets so much joy from receiving Christmas cards in the mail. Every day she waits outside on the porch for the mail lady to see if she got one. Sadly, she only gets at best 2 a year. When I dropped by today to check on her and my stepdad, she was upset because no one sent her one yet. I told her it was too soon and she'd get one soon. So I thought if I would see if anyone wanted to add to your list this year. Just a simple Merry Christmas, Misty, on a cheap card would mean the world to her.
Aw.
Her name is Misty Mullinax, Mullinax. Her address is 310 County Road 607, and that's in Dayton, Texas, 77535.
Can you post that?
I'm going to.
Okay.
Of course, it may take me days, or I'll realize when I'm writing the show next time that, oh shit, I forgot to post this.
Right.
Anybody who's got a lot of time on your hands, it's also been suggested that maybe you can go and visit a nursing home and ask if there's any residents who don't get any visitors, anything. The gift of, a blankie or a hat or some kind of comfort item.
Yep.
You could even ask, if they have like a favorite candy bar, no diet restrictions. And
Just the gift of time.
yeah.
Because when my dad was in a nursing home, there were a lot of people that I never saw anyone go in and out of their rooms, And it's just, the gift of time is free. It doesn't cost anything.
No.
And you can go in for 5 or 10 minutes.
You could even just go in with a card. A lot of dementia patients will assume that you're their daughter or their whatever, sister. My ex-brother-in-law in that state, we would take him as lunch, and it was a throwaway place where state-run, government, least amount, and most of the people there never got a visitor.
Oh my gosh.
There were a few residents there that had visitors because their family lived in that little town. You know what I mean? So that was convenient for them.
Right.
But the rest of them, that's where you just went and put somebody you didn't want to deal with anymore. So, I'm always telling people, even if it's just your time, even if you don't,
Yep.
you can make a Christmas card, just fold something in half and write Merry Christmas, hope you have a nice one, or Happy Holidays, or just be nice and go visit somebody someday just because, and it doesn't have to be a holiday.
Right.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay. What else you got?
That is it.
Okay. Well, we had a song dedication a while back.
Oh, this was from last week. You said you forgot.
Well, last week was like from a couple of weeks ago because we just end up always running out of time.
I know. No, this is dedicated to who?
This is dedicated to my children, my
Okay.
kids, my goats.
Your kids.
My kids, my goats. I really did try my best, and as a parent, that's all you can do with what you got at the time. And Scott Stapp, S-T-A-P-P, he's in the band Creed.
Okay.
He wrote this song when he found out he was going to be a dad. Okay, it's by Creed and it's with Arms Wide Open. And at the 2:40 mark, it just simply sings, "If I have one wish, only one demand, I hope he's not like me. I hope he can take his life and hold it by the hand, and he can greet the world with arms wide open."
Oh.
Because a lot of people don't realize you can make a choice. You don't have to do things a certain way, because you're brought up to.
Right. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Half the people where I work are like, "You don't celebrate Christmas?" And I'm like, "No, I choose not to." I mean, for me, it was easier because I didn't do it for years upon years. And then it just got to be a pain in the ass. And I know the origins of shit. And we'll talk about this, Thursday? We're having an early episode next week, guys. It'll be this coming Thursday because it's the Christmas week and Sammy's home. And blah, blah, blah. But my children are so smart, Laura. I mean, everybody thinks their kid is the smartest, but I've tried to have discussions with them about things I didn't know when I was their age. And they know these things, and they know more than I do because of things I tried to show them and teach them. And children don't always listen to you, but they see what you do and how you act. And I was contacted by somebody who knew my youngest son until he moved a little while ago. And she just couldn't stop gushing about what a delightful young man he is. And, as a mom, that makes
That's
your
awesome.
heart
Absolutely.
just grow 10 times.
Yep.
That, I didn't even get to raise him for the past 9 years of his life, but he turned out good. He turned out decent. He knows right from wrong. And we've discussed, that from living in that place and what you're told you can do and can't do and what actually is right and what actually is wrong. So, I'm just happy that my kids know I tried my best. And sometimes your best doesn't cut it, but it was the best you could do.
Right.
And for everybody out there doing your best, don't let anybody put you down because you're doing your damn best.
Yep.
You're doing your absolute best. Sorry I had no Brad Sachs for today. Don't know what to tell you on that one. Do you have any questions?
Me? No.
No questions?
Do you have anything else, or is that it?
I don't know. I'm always unprepared. I do the best I can to
No,
prepare.
you're prepared.
So, I don't know. They always got all kinds of stuff, Don't be taking gifts. Don't be accepting gifts from anybody. Beware of those giving gifts. Get your mind on God and doing exactly what He says, and He'll give you the greatest gift of all, which is joy and gladness.
Alrighty.
That's what they're wishing you for this holiday season.
Oy, okay.
Because we weren't allowed to take holiday bonuses if we worked outside.
Let me guess, you had to give it to the cult.
You had to decline it. You couldn't take it.
I'm surprised they didn't say, you know what, you need to take the bonus, but give it to the cult. That really shocks me.
Well, I ended up, accepting a $200 check, and I ended up paying more in penalties and whatnot when confessions came out.
Oh my gosh.
From cashing the check. They got all the money plus. All the money plus.
That is messed up.
Yeah. And by the way, we're in the Roman month of December right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the DE in December
Okay.
Means a descending of the gods away from and to derail. Remember, God said it was a straight and narrow path to the kingdom. And there's a question mark. They want to derail you.
All right.
So the D in December is the descending of the gods, and it's a capital G-O. Everything's capital.
I thought it was DEC for like decade, for 10. You know how September 7, October.
That's what I assumed too, until the Roman calendar, added August and other.
Whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess whatever fits their bill.
Sure. Why not? Make
Because
something up.
Because if it comes out of pastor's mouth, it must be true.
That's right.
Well, guys, I didn't nearly get to everything I wanted to, as always, but we did get to an awful lot, didn't we?
We did.
Hopefully I will. I listened to me stutter through last week's episode because I kept looking at things written down going, I want to say this, and my mouth would start to move and you give me this weird look.
Yeah.
And I'd go, so everybody out there, I apologize. I just still haven't been able to get a hold of, or they haven't gotten a hold of me to confirm, deny, shore up, tell me, yeah, you can use this. No, don't. Say this. Ask this.
Gotcha.
But, yeah, guys, lots of different ways to get a hold of us, including P.O. Box 284, Oakdale, Pennsylvania, 15071. We'll be back Thursday, but it's up to you to not listen to it, or you can. I don't know. Anyway, it's been Deb.
And Laura.
And it's been another wonderful episode of I Got the Hell Out. Bye, guys.
Bye.